All right, so there's a bit of interesting news that came out yesterday here. This is a tweet from MCU News and Updates that discusses where Marvel Studios is reportedly not developing too many more live action Disney Plus shows. Marvel's focus is on live action movies and animated shows. The next live action show we get from them will be Grounded. And it did go on to mention here that Agatha Darkhold Diaries and Daredevil Born Again will be the next Disney Plus series. I'm not quite sure how Agatha Darkhold Diaries is grounded, but I'm gonna move on from that either way. There was an original tweet. This actually came originally from Daniel RPK here. He usually has a lot of scoops that mentions Marvel not developing too many more live action shows at the moment and focusing on the animated stuff and live action movies. The next live action shows that we're going to be getting from them are going to be more grounded. So my understanding of this is that certain shows are not going to be affected, because I think that was my initial first question was, okay, well, what about some of the shows that they already have? It works right now, like Ironheart, Wonder Man, What If Season 3, Vision Quest, Marvel Zombies, The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't think that those things are going to be affected by any means. I think that those things are still going to end up being released here. Things that could be affected that were kind of rumored but not confirmed are things like Moon Knight Season 2, which, man, I would be disappointed to not see Moon Knight Season 2 because I really love the first original season. Midnight Angels, I was curious as to what that could be like, so I'll be disappointed to not see them go in that direction. But the whole idea of them focusing more on these live action grounded series, I think, is a missed opportunity if they don't create other types of live action series in the future. And we'll talk about that in a second. But from a grounded perspective, I get it, because they created this whole Marvel Spotlight banner, right? Which the first series of this was the Echo series, and that was supposed to be more grounded, where you're talking about how the characters like developing their powers and things like that. I think that was their idea of grounded. I think we have a very different definition of what grounded is. I think their definition is, okay, here is a character that is going through kind of like their backstory and they're now developing their powers, and that I think is what they consider to be grounded, as opposed to where we consider grounded being like literally like on the ground, like fighting in the streets. Like, that's kind of what we consider to be grounded. I don't think that that's what Disney considers to be grounded here, but that to me means though that we could probably still get series and things like Punisher. We could still probably get maybe some of those other Netflix series. There is no freaking way that you're gonna bring in Daredevil, bro, and you not gonna bring in Punisher. No way that you're not gonna bring in Bernthal. That don't make no sense to me. Especially, you're going to be going here into Hell's Kitchen. I think that we're definitely probably still going to be able to see like a Punisher in the future. And I would love to see some of these other Netflix shows for them to bring it back or continue on that story, like JJ, Jessica Jones, right? Luke Cage. I would love to see them go in that direction. And some of us may not want to see Iron Fist though, because we don't want to see the man conjure up, a gun with his chi. But let's move on. The question really is though, is this the way? I think that they're kind of overcorrecting, if you ask me. The issue was not that we didn't want the shows. Yes, they were releasing them too fast and too quickly. The issue is that we wanted the shows to be a little bit better. Most shows, in my opinion, they were fine. Like the finales, though, for some of them were absolutely terrible. Like I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I just felt like the last episode, it fell off the cliff, if you ask me, right? Things like Echo, I was slightly okay with. But then, once again, I feel like the finale kind of fell off the map there. Miss Marvel's finale was bad. She-Hulk, kind of the whole series was a little tough. I love the actress, but it fell off there. But a lot of the series were good. Like WandaVision was good. I thought from top to bottom, although it started off pretty slow. I said Moon Knight, like I said, was really good. Obviously, Loki is the GOAT series right now. I thought that was really good. What If had a lot of really good, sections there in both season 1 and in season 2. So I feel like they're kind of overcorrecting if they're choosing not to go with those style of shows. What I think that they should do is that they should segment down like they're doing with the Marvel Spotlight banner thing. Like segment down some of your shows, right? Like segment down your cosmic series, segment down, which you could probably throw in things like Loki. You could throw in, Moon Knight into sort of like a cosmic series, then segment down into like a magic series, right? Where, okay, now you have like things like WandaVision. Like if they wanted to do other magic sort of series in the future, they could do that. Segment down into like a mutant, series. Like, these are all the mutant kind of shows that are going to be sort of in this sort of series. I think that that's what they should do, segment down and then be more pronounced about what you're doing with these shows. You should treat them more like side quests as opposed to it being connected to like this main quest, this overarching story, which they did and they trained us to expect, right? Which is why some of us didn't necessarily like some of these shows, because we're just like, how does this connect to the overall? Where's the interconnectivity, right, of these shows? Well, don't do that with some of these newer live action shows and segment them down into their individual sections and kind of just let them live there, let them be side quests. And then, yes, you can then bring those characters back into like the big major thing, but the side quests don't have to be a part of this big major thing. They can kind of just be referenced as sort of like jokes. In my opinion, that's the direction that I believe that they should go in, just having sort of like these separate storylines. But I think the ultimate reason why they're doing this, though, is because of their budgets, man. And if you look at the numbers don't look good, right? In terms of like their box office, between the budget that they had and what they made back from these movies. The Marvels, 274.8 million is what their budget was, and they only made 199 global worldwide right now. Some of this, I believe, was subsidized. I think like 50 million of that was subsidized, so that didn't come directly out of their pocket, but still that's a little bit of a hit. Guardians of the Galaxy, had it did okay, 845 million on a $250 million budget. Ant-Man and the Wasp, 200 million on we made 463 million, my bad, on a $200 million budget. Black Panther did 853 mil on a $250 million budget, and so on and so forth. Somehow Thor: Love and Thunder made 760 million. What was wrong with us, guys? I love Thor, but that movie was not the bee's knees. Then Doctor Strange went close to $1 billion, and then Spider-Man definitely, knocked it out of the park here. And if you look at some of their TV show budgets, they're pretty high too. Hawkeye, 150 mil, 150 million. She-Hulk, 225 million. WandaVision, 225 million. I think that this is the issue. Their budgets for these TV shows are too damn high, and they're trying to be like, you know what? Let's keep it more grounded, because it seems like that's what the audience wants. Although their definition of grounded seems to be a little bit different than our definition of grounded. What we want is more on the ground level type stuff, as to where I feel like their definition of grounded is, okay, well, new powers that we're gaining type. Because that's kind of what I saw with Echo, in my opinion. That's just my assessment on it. I could be wrong. It's okay if I'm wrong. You let me know that. But these budgets are very high, and their numbers that they're getting back in the box office are very high. I don't know what like streaming revenues for them. I wasn't able to find those specific numbers there, or I did find some numbers, but they just weren't. They were too different on whatever websites I'm looking on. But my point is this. Is that I would be disappointed for them not to do any sort of other live action series that are not specifically grounded series, because I think if they do it and segment it out and then have it be more like these little side quests and be more pronounced that way, not just doing it without us really kind of knowing it. And then I think it opens up more creativity for them too, if they kind of treat it like side quests, because now you can do a little bit more story. Now you can give us more development from a character background perspective. I think that would be a really good direction to go in my personal opinion. But you let me know what your thoughts are. These are just my thoughts here, what I think. I think that they have a potential chance. I think that they got to make some cutbacks, and that's the reason why they're making this decision. We heard about what happened with Mark Ruffalo and him saying that he's too expensive. That probably is it. They're probably overpriced right now. They're over budget with a lot of this stuff, and they're like, you know what? Let's just focus on more of these live action movies to try to build back up our budget, and then maybe we attack live action series in the future. Maybe that's what they're doing. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are here. Check out this next video, actually, where I go into a little bit more detail as to why I talk about how they should segment things out, why I actually think that they should not stop the multiverse saga. They should actually continue the multiverse saga, and that it would actually be kind of stupid if they ended the multiverse saga here. But check out the next video. Until next time, guys, and as always, thanks so much for kicking it with Keepin' It Comic.